Charlie Gasparino. What do you think?
Defamation. Pure, simple defamation.
Does he realize when he makes these attacks, he's just elevating the show? I mean,
yeah, it's interesting. He hates the media, most of it. I think he likes us, by the way.
Well, us is a kind of a sweeping term.
Right. You less than others.
Yeah.
Right. But in any event.
You less than all. Right.
That's true. But so I guess there's a hierarchy of hatred. Sitting at the top, the one that has gets the most vile reaction from Donald Trump is NBC.
Right.
As a matter of fact, he calls Comcast, the owner of NBC, public enemy number one. He's called this several times in private. Why does he hate them the most? Because, CNN is like AAA baseball in terms of Trump hatred compared to what NBC brings to the table. NBC brings a cultural attack through stuff like SNL and the various shows, news attacks through NBC, and opinion attacks through MSNBC. It hits on all levels against Donald Trump, and it's backed by a multi-gazillion-dollar corporate entity known as Comcast. Trump viscerally understands the business model that's being built.
But hasn't he taken it to a new level when he says it's all or nothing, less than the news coverage you see and Democratic comments? It should be tested in the courts. It can't be the way it is, only defame and belittle. Collusion?
Here's something else that's going on. There is his Justice Department. We've just reconfirmed this with sources close to the Trump antitrust division. They are still looking at whether to reopen an antitrust investigation against Comcast because they believe they've performed monopolistic behavior in denying programming or charging extra for programming to rival cable companies, and they're following that's going on following a complaint by the American Cable Association and others about Comcast's behavior. So, what I'm saying here is.
But something like this would be a tough thing to stop.
That's insane. Right? That'll never go to court, right? Or maybe it will. But the other stuff, that this is a company that provides that uses its programs to squeeze others, and it's a backdoor way to get at them, is clearly on the table here. And again, why does Trump hate them more than even CNN, who he obviously despises, Jim Acosta and all them, right?
Right.
They're AAA baseball, he believes, compared to what Comcast brings to the table. Again, it's an attack, a cultural attack, a news attack, a opinion attack, all backed up by a massive corporation that is hell-bent.
Well, he's arguing that in the name of humor, it's gotten very, very mean. I haven't met a president or heard of a president who hasn't had some problems with the way he is presented on, either late-night talk shows or the rest. I mean, even John Kennedy, who arguably got the best press coverage ever, had a problem with Vaughn Meter's album, making fun of his accent and everything. But this, what makes a difference is Nixon went on laughing and did suck it to me. You can't let him see you sweat. When they see him sweat like this, they know they've scored a hit.
I agree, but remember, Nixon went on laughing. Yes.
Yes.
I think he got the IRS to go after Scotty Reston at the Times and others,
right.
And he used the levels of government.
But the court would not back up this behavior. I can remember when Larry Flint, went after Jerry Falwell, and the Supreme Court essentially unanimously. That this is fair game. You're a public figure. So that's the way it goes.
He doesn't have to go at him that way. He can go at him, which is, I think, the way they're going to do it, through the antitrust laws by saying that Comcast, and he's going to have some good evidence, Comcast has violated antitrust monopolistic practices.
But would this be the impetus?
That's the impetus.
Don't you think that's a little thin-skinned and crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, on the issues you raised, and this has been raised by conservatives and liberals alike about Comcast, whether it sticks to its word and all of that. Yeah, well, fair enough. But something like this, I mean, he thinks your skin's a little thin.
Here's the thing. If I'm the head of Comcast, I'm worried about this either way. Because if he comes after me on an antitrust grounds, he's going to screw up my business model, which is already under a lot of pressure with cord cutting.
But does the president have a point, regardless of your point of view, whether you like him or dislike him, that there's a disproportion? I mean, late night comics pile on against him. Very few even say something kind about him in humor at late night and some of these venues. Does that matter?
You know, I can understand why. Listen, just so I've known Donald Trump for a long time, and as you did, he is particularly thin-skinned. There's no doubt about it. They do beat up on him constantly. They go after.
You should ignore it. Just ignore it.
They go after his wife every day. You know, and you know, listen, there is a lot of vile stuff thrown at the Obamas, including racial stuff. Vile, okay? Trump doesn't get the racial stuff, but he does get, as you know, like the entire media establishment, hates him. They think he's a fraud. They think he won by Russian influence.
But whatever that, wouldn't the Ronald Reagan practice be wise? Don't make it seem like they're getting to you. No, we know in retrospect that a lot of that was getting to Ronald Reagan, but he would famously say, last time I checked, I'm president, they're not.
And he had great approval ratings, and, you know, he was very popular. I think the other part with Donald is that he is not particularly well-liked, and that's the other thing. I mean, his approval ratings, given where the economy is right now, people should be in love with this guy. And they're not, for obvious reasons. He's not a well-liked guy. His demeanor is something that turns off a lot of people. I don't care either way, but I'm just telling you. So
some have said the same of you.
And they always say it about me, and I don't care.
No, you don't. See, there you go. And the president might have to take that.
It hurts my feelings. All
it does, really?
1.1 of them.
Okay.
Very well. Where do I begin?
All right. Thank you very, very much.